to his father and said, "This year I am not going to wear a mask. I'm going to paint my face and make it very, very scary." "That's nice," said Lance, said his father. "It's a lot less work for me. You go and paint your face." So Lance went to the bathroom, painted worms coming out of his hair, ants crawling out of his cheeks, and snakes coming out of his mouth. Then he went downstairs, walked up behind his father, and said, "Boo!" His father yelled, "Ah! Not scary enough," said Lance. "I want him to fall over." So Lance went back upstairs and painted green braids coming out of the side of his head, one eye falling down over his face, and orange goop coming out of his nose. Then he went downstairs, walked up behind his father, and yelled, "Boo!" His father yelled, "Ah!" Not and fall right over. "Scary enough," said Lance. Then Lance put a pillowcase over his head and got another pillowcase for Candy. He walked down the street. He went up to a house. Knock, knock, knock. A big man opened the door and said, "First kid for Halloween. So nice to see a little kid for Halloween." So Lance lifted his pillowcase and said, "Boo!" The man yelled, "Ah!" and fell right over. But Lance wanted some candy, so he said very softly, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. He said a little loud, "Trick or treat!" Nothing happened. So Lance went inside. So Lance went inside, and there was an enormous table full of candy. He put it all into his bag. Then, even though his bag was very heavy, he walked down the street and went to another house. Knock, knock. A lady opened up the door and said, "First kid for Halloween. So nice to see a little kid for Halloween." Lance lifted his pillowcase and said, "Boo!" The lady yelled, "Ah!" and fell right over. But Lance wanted some candy, so he said very softly, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. He said a little louder, "Trick or treat." Nothing happened. So Lance went inside, and there was an enormous table full of candy. He put it all into his bag. Then Lance went into the kitchen and opened up the refrigerator. He took out 10 boxes of ice cream, 20 cans of ginger ale, 3 watermelons, and 10 frozen pizzas, and a turkey. Lance dragged the pillowcase across the porch. He fell down the street and landed in the middle of the street. And a police car came by. The police jumped out, looked at Lance, and said, "Kid, what's the matter with you? You can't sit in the middle of the street. Take your candy and go home." "Look," said Lance, "my bag is so heavy, I can't even move. I live police officer, I take your bag of candy to your house. Wow, it's a heavy bag of candy. The police drags the bag up down the street. The police officer dragged the bag down the street and put it on Lance's front porch and said, "Kid, you must have gone to 20,000 houses to get so much candy." "No," said Lance, "just 2. "Wait a minute," said the police. "How did you get so much candy at just 2 houses?" "Well," said Lance, my face is so scary when people see it, they fall over. And I take all the candy in the house." Said the police. "I'm a cop. You can't scare me." Your face, I want to see your face." "Okay," said Lance. He lifted it up his pillowcase and said, "Bow!" The police said, "Oh, you think I'm going to fall over just because of a face like that? You are wrong. I'm going to run away!" He jumped into his car and drove away really fast. Zoom! Then Lance went into the street and ate his first chocolate bar. Then there was a knock on the door. Lance opened it, and there was a teenager, the kind of kid who was too old to go out for Halloween and still goes anyway. He had a pillowcase over his head and a bag full of candy, much bigger than Lance. "Well," said Lance, you must have gone to 5,000 houses to get so much candy." "No," said the teenager, "just 5. How did you get so much candy at just 5 houses?" said Lance. The teenager said, "My face is so scary. When people see it, they fall over. And I take all the candy in their house. I am going to scare you and take all the candy in your house." "Maybe not," said Lance. "I want to see your face." "Okay," said the teenager. He lifted his pillowcase and said and yelled, "Boo!" He had worms coming out of his hair, butterflies coming out of his mouth, and he was scary, but not as scary as Lance. "Nice try," said Lance. He lifted his pillowcase and said, "Bow!" The teenager yelled, "Ah!" dropped his bag of candy, and ran down the street. Lance took the teenager's bag of candy and dragged it into his house. His candy lasted a long time. Even he ate as much as candy as he could. He ate candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He ate candy in the middle of the night, but his candy lasted until next Halloween. Done. And this is Pokemon cards. Done.